maybe what makes a great short form content creator isn't necessarily going to make a great live stream host. And I think part of that is making it very difficult for brands and creators to kind of figure out how to crack into this market.
Hey, Sarah, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
Fantastic. Today we talk about something that I care a lot, that is social commerce, live stream shopping, and anything that is related to that. But before we get started, we go in the ins and out of everything today. Why don't you tell us a bit more about yourself using the MAP method that we use here on the Influence Factor podcast? Basically, it's divided in 3 different sections. It's the mission, achievements, and purpose. So the mission is what do you aim to achieve with your work? Achievements, anything that is like, notable milestone in your life or career or both. And the last one is the purpose. So why do you do what you do?
Sarah Penna. I'm the SVP of the creator team at Orca. So for me, my mission has always been to be very innovative in the digital media space. And I would say a through line of my career has been creating opportunities for creators to connect with their fans and make a living doing that. I've had a very interesting career. I've had a very fun career. Some highlights would be, I started Big Frame right when creators could start monetizing on YouTube. So in 2010, late 2010, I started what would turn out to be the first talent management company to focus exclusively on YouTube talent. I built that company up, raised venture money, really proud of sort of the reputation that my company continues to have to this day, which is, very creator first, very focused on actually adding value to creators at a time when that actually was very rare and people were mostly just trying to get as many creators signed up as possible. Exited that company in 2014 and sold it to DreamWorks / Awesomeness TV. A personal milestone at that time was I was actually 6 months pregnant with my son. So he's about to turn 10, which is wild.
Yeah.
So 10-year anniversary of selling Big Frame happened this year. And we decided to tell the team on April 1st, which I don't recommend anybody doing.
Yeah.
But, you live and learn. And then I operated a new business within Awesomeness TV until 2017 and then left to pursue a lifestyle IP brand called Frolic. That was in the romance space. So that was really a passion project for me. I love the romance space. In 2017, again, it was very early. You're now seeing this massive rise of book talk and booktubers and all of that. And then went on to lead creator partnerships at Patreon before joining Orca 2 months ago.
Wow.
So that's a very quick highlights of my career. And my purpose is really simple. It's get creators paid.
Fantastic. First of all, congrats on everything that you built. Quite a journey, that's for sure. I can imagine we would have to do a 10 hours podcast about all the different, experiences.
I have a lot of stories. I'll say that.
I can imagine that. And, before we get more in the details, tell us a bit more about Orca, just for people that might not know about the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. So Orca is a social commerce company. We work with brands across live streaming, short form video, and then the team that I oversee, which is affiliate. And so we work with about 12,000 influencers across our affiliate network to help them, get products into their hand and promote them through mostly TikTok.
And, we all know, right, the social commerce is finally becoming a thing, right, thanks to TikTok Shop, and when it comes to live streaming, there is, Amazon Live and others. Of course, it's not the same as, as strong it is, let's say, in China, right, or even in Indonesia, other countries like that. And something I wanted to ask you, it is, how do you actually become a good live stream host, right? Because you can be a fantastic content creator, you can be an amazing influencer. It doesn't mean that you're going to be a good live stream host, right? Because it takes a lot of energy, many hours in live. You need to know about everything about a certain products. You need to know how to interact with people, reading comments in live time. So for anyone out there that would like to maybe get into these, do you have any tips for them?
Yeah, you're very accurate in that, maybe what makes a great short form content creator isn't necessarily going to make a great live stream host. And I think part of that is making it very difficult for brands and creators to kind of figure out how to crack into this market. So at Orca, we have about 42 and 45 live hosts that are actually on our payroll. And we help train them. We do brand immersions with them, really get them to know, understand the product. I think the difference between what we would, when I say influencer, what you would typically think of as an influencer they're mostly trained in the art of brand integration. It's very different than the art of selling on live. And when you see, sort of traditional content creators going live, it can be kind of hit or miss. So you definitely have to have a lot of stamina. You need to be able to talk and to go live and to be interactive for 4 to 6 hours.
Wow.
It is a long time. So, we have some tips and tricks around making sure you have a co-host or you have friends come and join, and they can kind of, take over when you need to go get a snack or take a bathroom break or just rest your vocal cords for a minute. You have to have a lot of charisma. You have to be able to immediately grab people in those first 3 seconds. What is it that is going to draw that audience in? And then you really have to know the product and understand the product. It is very QVC feeling, right? There can be entertaining elements, but what you're really looking for is explain the product, show swatches, show befores and afters, be excited about, what it is that you're selling. And I think we're starting to see that space get a little more mature than it was even, let's say, 6 to 7 months ago.
And how do you keep people to, first of all, stay on, right? Because you said 4 to 6 hours. So, of course, I don't think that someone is going to stay there for all the 6 hours, right? Maybe, a bit of back and forth, joining in and so on. So my first question is again, you already said something, but how do you keep, right, that entertaining? And number 2, how do you potentially get the people to come back, right? Is it incentives? Is it I know that especially in China, again, there are so many apps where you go and there is a lot of gamification happening, right? So the more time you stay, the more money you spend, the more coins you get. If you come back and you do a strike, right? So every day you come back to the live streaming, you get also some bonuses. What could be some of the tips for people, again, they don't have the tech components of, what is happening in China, but specifically in the US?
In terms of things that people can do in their live stream, one thing that we talk about a lot is this idea of loops. So you don't have to have new material for 6 hours. Yeah. You're going to have sort of a 15-minute segment that's going to loop. So you actually do want new audience cycling in and out. You're not necessarily wanting someone to stay, sure, if they want to stay around for the whole 4 to 6 hours, welcome them. But the goal is, hey, how can we kind of bring someone in? They're not going to be totally lost, if they join midstream. They're going to kind of come in. There's going to be a loop within those loops, and in between those times, you can do really fun interactive things. Giveaways work really well. That works across all social media whenever you're trying to increase engagement, views, everything, obviously within the parameters of what TikTok allows. So giveaways, discounts, those are probably the 2 biggest drivers. So heavily discounting products during the live stream creates that urgency and that FOMO. Oh my gosh, this thing that you've been eyeing, you've probably seen it in your For You page popping up. Now's the time to get it because it's 45% off. And this is it. We're just going to do it for these, this one live stream. And so people will come back and see the flash sales.
It makes sense, especially that's what I say all the time, right? If you're taking time off your day, right, to go on a live streaming because it's happening in that moment, there should be, right, an incentive on why should I buy in that moment, right? Because if not, I can just go in async, right? I go to TikTok, I go to Instagram, go whatever I like, Snap, YouTube, even Pinterest, right? And I can just go and search, right? I pull the information to me, I find something, and then, I buy. But if instead there is okay, there is a big discount happening right now, all if you buy now, right? So again, similar to QVC, right? The urgency, the FOMO effect, and so on. So if on the one hand, right, we have hosts, right, that they go through a sort of almost academy, right? So they had to learn how to interact, how to stay there with energy and charisma for 6 hours. On the other hand, you have the everyday person, right? That maybe didn't go through all this training. And because of now, affiliate marketing getting bigger with the social aspects, everyone can create a video these days and says oh, these, massage machine, whatever, changed my life. These brownies with protein are the best, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, why do you think that it's getting so popular in terms of affiliate marketing? There again, it's been there for ages, but now it's getting popular again. And are you noticing any trends?
Yeah, so I believe that the ease of actually being an affiliate marketer on TikTok has created, it's similar to when YouTube made it easier to do brand integrations. They sort of paved the way for an entire industry to form around that with the creation of MCNs and incentive programs and onboarding brands, educating them. We're in that same moment right now. TikTok is educating brands. They're empowering companies like Orca to educate them, to help them get comfortable with the TikTok platform. And for creators, it's amazing because there is a lower barrier to entry. You can become an affiliate with 5,000 followers on TikTok. You have this whole suite of brands at your fingertips. You can add them into your showcase. You're not required to have a manager or an agent going out and negotiating brand deals with you on your behalf. So we're seeing brands need to shift their understanding of how to work with creators, specifically when it comes to affiliate on TikTok, and sort of change the expectations from this is going to be a highly controlled back and forth creative concepting, multiple rounds of notes with a creator and an upfront fee to, you know what, we're just going to set the criteria for who can work with our brand, who can get samples, and we're going to release a little bit of control. And we're seeing huge results for the brands who are able to get there.
Is your brand ready to amplify its reach? Well, the Influencer Marketing Factory is here for you. We are a global influencer marketing agency helping brands ignite their growth. From influencer identification to campaign strategy, handling legalities and agreements, to managing shipping and logistics, we got you all covered. We work with hundreds of brands across different verticals, from Fortune 500 companies to direct-to-consumer brands. And we don't just stop there. With detailed ROI analysis, we help brands like yours measure success, transforming impressions into conversions. You can find us at theinfluencermarketingfactory.com or just searching the Influencer Marketing Factory on Google. And in addition to these, guidelines, again, you said it's a bit difficult, right? Because you're going to lose a bit of control. But is there any other way for the brand to still be able somehow to say, okay, we want to open this up to kind of everyone, right? They want to do affiliate. But again, you said the guidelines. What is the best way to control that type of things? Should the brand then contact the people that are doing affiliate marketing one by one? Should they, tell me a bit more how they can, again, do that without losing control of their also brand image, right? Because if you don't really, pay these people in advance, you cannot really say what they should do and what they shouldn't, right? So the ball is in their court, but you still want to protect your image as a brand. So any tips there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on your goal as a brand, right? If your goal is sort of market awareness, you can be a little more controlled in messaging and, they're without getting too much in the nitty gritty, but with, using a company like Orca, we can help do open plans versus target plans, and target plans have a lot more control versus the open plans. Now, we will manage expectations with those brands that the more control you have and the more restrictive your creator profile is, certainly the lower GMV we expect. Especially at the beginning, casting a really wide net is important. Then we can see these are the kinds of creators that are working really well. We're going to double down on them. We're going to invest in the top affiliates. We're going to do actually create direct relationships with these creators. So I would recommend, depending on the brand, obviously an independent brand upstart is going to have a lot less parameters than a legacy brand that's been around for 75 years. And so really for me, and this is true for brand deals, it goes back to what is your goal? Do you want to just get on TikTok Shop? Do you want to get your sea legs under you? Do you want to see how it works? Find a couple top affiliates that maybe you could flip into, brand, actual brand deal creators. Great. Are you trying to drive massive GMV? Very different strategy.
Since you said it depends, right? By the goal, the objectives, and so on. If we, let's say, could be brand awareness, could be GMV, could be whatever. When should brands, start begin thinking about their social commerce journey and strategy? And what are some of the things that they should avoid in order to, committing specific mistakes that maybe you've seen happening over and over?
Yeah, I think it depends on the brand again, but one really good metric of, hey, it might be worth us to jump on this affiliate. And this could be TikTok. It could be, to your point, Amazon. It could be, the various third parties that work with Instagram. YouTube's getting into the game. Is there already significant organic video content being made about your brand? If yes, and we can help you define significant, right? Because that's a very vague term. But if there's at least some traction with your brand organically, it's probably a good sign that if you start an affiliate program, you'll find some traction within, 6 or 7 months, if not sooner. And so that's really the first thing that I would say for a brand. I would also analyze your competitors. Who are your direct competitors? What are they doing in the space? What's their organic traffic look like? What is their paid affiliate? Are they on TikTok Shop? Are you seeing them everywhere? Or are you seeing them you can see on TikTok how many items have been sold of a specific item. They just say it right there.
Yeah.
So is it a really big brand and you've only sold 10, they've only sold 10 items, well, that's probably a sign that the, market isn't quite ready for your product. And then it's also what creators do you want to go after? Obviously, there's a huge makeup and fashion and skincare on TikTok. That's the biggest category.
Mhm.
Are you in the pet space? Are you in a very unique niche that isn't oversaturated? That TikTok probably wants to get into and is going to help you onboard and incentivize you. So those are the things that I would look at.
And do you have any case studies that you think that, maybe even like, with Orca, like, they were successful, and the reason why? Like, have you noticed anything that worked well for a specific brand? So again, I would like to know a bit more, if you can share either case studies, numbers, metrics, why they were successful, and so on.
Yeah, I can share without using names. We work with a wellness brand that's in the vitamin space, and they're an independent brand. So again, take that if you are working with a brand and it's much more of a legacy brand with a bigger legal team, let's say, take that with a grain of salt. But they are incredibly open with who they want to use as affiliates. So they're like, anyone who's excited about the brand, we want to work with them,
Right.
unless there's brand safety concerns, the typical kind of brand safety concerns. The second thing they do is they are very generous with their sampling. Again, this is easier with vitamins, sort of like a lightweight, low cost of shipping item than, say, a chair or a cooler or even a mug, these kinds of things, right? You have to take into consideration. And all of those factors combined, they're doing high six figures a month in affiliate revenue. So it can be incredibly lucrative. And those are the kind of things that you can toggle. How many people are reaching out to you? How many samples are we giving? How strict is our criteria? And, what ultimately is our goal for them? It's drive GMV. We work with another brand that's in the beauty space, and they're very good at using their hero product, which is a product for your lips. They're very good at using that as sort of a hook. And it's a low cost. They sell very, very well. And then you use that as your hook to get people, okay, I'm willing to invest, $10 in this lip stain. And I love the brand. What else do they have? So that's another thing. You need to have at least some kind of low cost item. I would say TikTok right now is not at the maturity level for very high end items.
Makes sense. No, especially, like in the beauty or vitamins and so on, you can have like these couple of dollars, right? The type of things that you can easily ship. As you said, they're very light.
Yeah.
When it comes to other like either luxury items and so on, it might be a bit difficult. So I absolutely understand that. But it's a good strategy, I think. Most probably in time is gonna be some saturation, right? We've been seeing like waves, right? Where even like there were like a few people doing like bachelor parties or like things like that, and asking to brands like, can you ship me everything, right, that you have for free? I'm gonna da-da-da. So, right, we're seeing all these waves, and sometimes it works, sometimes it's just a waste, right, of time and money, because it doesn't really bring to anything. So, as you correctly said before, it depends by the type of brands, the type of industry, the verticals, the goals, etc., etc. What is missing right now in the social commerce industry? Can be technical, can be behavioral, like what is that?
I think it's two things. One, I think we need more platforms to get into the native affiliate space like TikTok has. TikTok just owns and dominates that space, and it's amazing. But we know from early YouTube monetization days, one platform owning it all, it's not good for the creator economy. It can change, things can happen. We don't know. So I'm heartened to see YouTube getting into this space. I would love to see other platforms taking lead. I know Instagram had some attempts at it. I'd love to see that try again. Pinterest. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. I think there's also a lot of trust that needs to be built between the consumer and the product. I think there's a perception that it's, not the best quality stuff, or do I even trust? Am I like buying something on TikTok? I personally, I remember the first time I bought something on TikTok, I'm like, I may never see this product. That was kind of the feeling that I had. Now, I shop a lot on TikTok Shop, and I feel very comfortable that the items are going to arrive there. It's high quality. It is what it says it is. but we're doing the work and TikTok's doing the work to bring those more recognizable brands onto the platform and shift that perception of kind of, bargain basement items from brands we haven't heard of to, brands that are loved and trusted. Like we work with Elf. I think that's a great example. It's a brand that's a legacy brand. It's loved, it's trusted. It's doing very well on TikTok. They have their live stream short format affiliate strategy at lockdown. And I think rinsing and repeating that strategy is very necessary.
Especially now that you have reviews and photos and videos under each TikTok shop, right? I think that is going to be another big thing that other social media has to start implementing, because it's not the link that brings to buy the item, the social commerce, right? Social commerce is social, right? So you need to see social proof from others. You need to see exactly like how it works for Amazon, right? Amazon became like what it is also because you can easily go in the reviews and read real reviews, right? That are transparent, honest, and you can see even the item, how it looks like in the hands of a normal person, right? And not just the brand, right? Because the brand will always try to make it look perfect, right? But when you see that, that dress actually stayed it fits perfectly on this person that is similar to me, it's not just a model, then fantastic, we'll most probably buy it, right? And so this is what is missing. What are, last question for you, but what are some of the trends or things that you would love to see in the creator economy? So let's not just look at social commerce necessarily, but as the creator economy, it's a big question, but is there anything that you are very excited about to see?
I mean, I'm always excited to see creators making money in unique ways. I really like this affiliate space because, like I mentioned, it knocks that barrier to entry way down. I come from the membership space as well, and I would love to see that space continue to mature and find its footing. I like that the affiliate and the creator membership space sort of live diametrically opposed to each other in some ways. I'd like to see those be more additive. I think someone could be a very successful affiliate seller and have a really thriving, robust community. You're still seeing TikTok creators having a hard time finding footing on other platforms. I think it's essential that they start finding that footing, building that community, being able to move audiences from place to place. That's always been essential to success and longevity. So I'd love to see creators and platforms making that easier. And yeah, again, the affiliate space, it leans into the algorithm. The creator membership space leans way out of the algorithm. So how do those two things play together and really help somebody make a full-time living at that?
Amazing. No, that's also what I'm looking forward to. More monetization, easier way to do that, more integration, right? Longevity for sure as well, right? Because it's easy to maybe hit the jackpot one time, but then what does it mean, right? Stay there for the long term, right? So
it's age-old question. From the dawn of the creator economy, I think we're getting, I would say, every year closer and closer. And yeah, I'm excited to see where the social commerce space takes us.
Me too, 100%. Fantastic. But Sarah, thank you so much for joining me today. Fantastic what you built so far, all your journey. Again, maybe one day I will, hear some of the stories. I'm pretty sure again, right, that you have a lot of things to share. And thank you for also sharing with us your knowledge about the industry, what is happening right now, all the tips for brand marketers, for creators, for potential hosts listening today, and for your sort of forecast and excitement about the future of the industry.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Amazing. Thank you, Sarah. This was the Influence Factor by the Influencer Marketing Factory, and I'll see you next week.